Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Amy. I go by Fiber Arts Amy here and on Instagram. I'm back with a stitchy update. I'm going to try to stick to stitching today. There's a lot less stitching in my life, unfortunately, than there used to be before I started Oak Crown Studios. But there's also a lot more like inspiration with dyeing and colors than there used to be. So it's a trade-off. I've been getting in little bits of stitching sort of here and there. Kind of piled things in the wrong order near me. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of gonna jump in. Anyway, I'm gonna show you what I have been stitching on. Also, so I don't forget, a couple of just really quick shop updates. And I'll talk more about it later, but I have put floss up for sale in my shop, and I don't know what day this video is going to go up, but if you see this on September 11th, there's a one-day sale going on in my shop to celebrate the 1-year anniversary. Today is the 1-year anniversary of me opening Oak Crown Studios. Like, today's the day the website went live. And also, some of you I know are aware that I offered a mermaid pack, for lack of a better term. I'm avoiding calling it a box because I'm literally not shipping it in a box. But a pack of it was a special. I called it Mermaid's Treasure Chest. It has 3 fat quarters of fabric in it. It's mystery. And words. Sorry. My daughter's also homesick from school today. We're all suffering a bit from a cold. Anyway, 3 fat quarters of fabric, as well as some other mystery goodies that I will not reveal. So that is sold out. It's expected to ship by December 1st, although I have to say my goal is to ship it before Thanksgiving. December 1st is my hard and fast date, but my goal is to ship it before Thanksgiving, and I'm already dyeing it and getting the products in that are going to go in it, so making some of the other things that go in it. So I don't anticipate a problem with that. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to put live a link for basically same thing but on a theme of fairies. And basically, and I'm not giving you any hints other than fairies, things that to me evoke fairy vibes, that's what's going to go in. So anyway, I'll talk more about that, but that link is going to go live tomorrow. So if you're interested in it. Now, if you're like, oh, but wait, I haven't even seen what's in the mermaid box yet. I want to kind of see what this is like before I'm going to agree to buy a fairy, sorry, not box, package, whatever. That's totally fair. I will keep this link open, the link in the shop open for the fairy pack as long as I can. There was a lot of interest in the mermaid offering. Like I said, I can't do an infinite number of them, but I do have an idea in my mind of what I can handle doing at that time of year and whatnot. And so I will keep the link open. I mean, hopefully past December 1st. My hope is that people will get to see an idea of what I put in one of these from the mermaid before I have to cut off ordering. I can't guarantee that, but I plan on, these are really fun. It's really fun for me to put together a mystery pack of exclusive for a time fabrics and all the other fun stuff that I'm putting in. It's really fun for me to do. So, yeah, that'll go live tomorrow. If you're interested, check it out. I will link my shop below. I'm going to talk some more about shop stuff later, but let me just talk about my stitching because I know not all of you are here for shop stuff. Excuse me. So some of the things I have been working on, my stitching vibes lately have been running to the very intricate. I did finish, I don't know when I posted last, like where I was in my stitching life. I'm also a goober, and I stopped using my stitching calendar basically over the summer. I shouldn't have done that. I was very monogamous, but I do occasionally like pick up other things, and it meant I wasn't recording all those other little things, and mostly it means I lose a sense of time. Like, wait, I know I touched that, but was what, like, it could have been 6 months ago that I stitched on something, or it could have been last week. I don't know. 2 days strong of using my stitching calendar. Okay. I use that like Needlework Press, right? Like, just it's a calendar, and I just write what I work on every day. Anyway, back to using it. Back to school schedule. Hopefully I will be back on track. Hopefully I'm also going to catch up on Flosstube. Can I just say I've not watched, I think, Flosstube basically since summer started, since my kids got out of school. And I'm pretty sure that Stitch and Mommy finished her Dragon Ride from Teresa Wensler. I think that's probably true, and I haven't seen it. And I always watch Stitch and Mommy. That's how little Flosstube I watched. Some week here soon, maybe next week, maybe this weekend, I'm going to get to sit down and have like a Stitch and Mommy binge watch session and see all the amazing stuff she's been stitching and finishing. I miss Stitch and Mommy. And it's entirely my fault. Okay. Back to what I've stitched on. And Sarah, Stitch and Mommy, if I'm making you feel uncomfortable and you're watching this, I apologize. I miss you. Okay, what I've worked on. So this hasn't gotten a ton of work, but some of you know that if you've been here before. So I inherited somebody else's project. Well, I bought off eBay this somebody else had been working on. It's one of Teresa Wensler's Carousel horses. It is stunning. I love. So also, the more Teresa Wensler I stitch, the more like I find the parts that I love the most, right? And all these like the little details that require all the fractionals and blends and backstitch, I just love so much. Anyway, working on, I've put some stitches in on this. Should move my needle up. You know what? I'm just taking the needle out of there because that's just asking for trouble. I have so much stuff like around me. That's a mess. Okay. So most of this work was not done by me. This was on like sticky board, or had used like spray not sticky board. Was this the one that was on like cardboard? I think this might have been the one that was on like poster board with like a spray adhesive or something. Anyway, you can still feel it's a little bit tacky. I did the best I could removing that. So most of this work was done by somebody else. But I've done quite a bit of work on it now too. And I've started backstitching ribbons back there. I put in quite a lot of backstitching. You can still see my threads attached. I've put in quite a bit of can't see where I put in backstitching. My gosh. Okay, well, I've backstitched the pole, and I've been working on putting some backstitching in here. Oh, here in like the bottom strap. And I also, which corner was I working on? My instincts are telling me it was this corner, but I'm not positive. I've one of these corners. I'm not positive because it was a little while ago. I worked on doing some of the stitching in the corners. You can see how like each of the corners are in different like states. I gotta take my glasses off. This corner, see, like this looks like nonsense right here. It just needs a lot of back stitching, and then it's gonna look amazing with like cross hatching. Oh my god, it's gonna be incredible. Like lattice work is what that's gonna end up looking like. So yeah, I was saying my stitching vibes have run to the more intricate lately. I know I also ended up I've been putting in like, as I come to them, I think especially in the tail, there were some stitches missing, you know, like just here and there. tail stitches, and I was putting those in as well. Kind of as I backstitch and I see that something's missing, I'll find that color and put it in. Yeah, my taste running a bit more intricate. This really fits the bill to do that. I've been in like Teresa Wensler and chatelaine like mode lately. And I don't know. I'm guessing that has something to do with going relatively monogamously on Nora Corbett's dragon, and then the design for the Queen City Stitch Retreat, which I still can't show you. It's at the framer. Those, and I did Teresa Wensler's The Emerald Mermaid. Those are like some of my recent finishes. And those are all things that I love doing, but are a little bit more like blocky stitching, which I really enjoy some blocky stitching. But I think I might have just like done so much of that now I'm like all in on the like super intricate stuff. I'm also itching to get back to my young mother sewing, which is my like full coverage focus. See, this is what I need to Flosstube more often. I will always say that, and I still probably won't do it. Excuse me, only take a sip. Got a bit of a migraine today. Caffeine helps my migraine. I don't normally do caffeine. Anyway, where was I? Oh my God, this is my life. Words, blocky stitching. I'm such a goober. Intricate stitching. Nope, it's gone. It'll come back later. Okay. Teresa Wensler. It was like, I was like all into what I was going to say, and then it just like, whoop, out of my head. I'm only keeping this on film because I know I'm not alone. Goodness gracious. That's going to bother me though. What was I talking about? Okay. Oh, I need to take this out of the Q-snap. Okay, I gotta take the needle off the needle minder so I don't lose it. So I just picked this up the other day. Oh, I need to Flosstube more often. How do you guys put up with me? So I get like, I can get really focused on work and I'm a lot further behind on orders than I like to be right now. And I'm feeling a little bit stressed about the retreat coming up and like whether I'm doing this right and if I have enough fabric for everybody and if I have what they're going to want and everybody wants something different. And anyway, and I can not only not have a lot of time for stitching, but I can also kind of lose a little bit of my stitching mojo. But like coming on here and just talking about it, and I know so many of you guys now, right? Like, you know, we've interacted. And even those of you who I don't know that I haven't interacted with, I feel like I do kind of know you, right? Like we all have a lot in common. We all share, at the very least, a love of stitching. Anyway, just talking to you guys like helps bring back my like stitchy vibe. Like I can already feel it, like my juices flowing and oh, I want to stitch this and this and this and this and I want to work on these things and my excitement really starts coming back. So I do have a lot of work today, but I might also just find some time to just sit down and stitch because that's hard for me these days. Anyway, okay. Renaissance Mermaid. Look, I have a cover photo. So Renaissance Mermaid has been a whip for quite some time. She really should be done by now. She's on some opalescent fabric. I don't know whose. I'm looking to see. Sometimes I stick the tag in. So many of my whips predate. Sometimes I stick my tag in with my floss, but it doesn't look like I did. So many of my whips predate me doing Flosstube that like I just didn't keep track of things. So this is an opalescent, I'm sure it's well, I say it's a 28. No, it's a 32. So Renaissance Mermaid's going to be gorgeous. So yesterday, actually, this needle minder is Agnes Little Needle Minders, something like that, on Etsy. I will try to remember to link her below. The colors in her are just so stunning. A lot of that tail is Krynic that I need to put in. Thankfully, I've done a ton of the hair because there's a lot of hair in this mermaid. So when I picked this up, and again, this was just yesterday, I had a strand on my needle still from the tail. So I finished that strand yesterday, but I'm more in the mood. You guys know I jump around. I'm feeling the mood to like go back from the top and work down. Sometimes I just get in that mood, and oftentimes with a Mirabilia, well, with any piece really, but especially a Mirabilia, God, she's huge. Anyway, I will jump around a lot until I get to, often until like at some point you've put in enough stitches that you can like see the outline of the design, right? You're like, okay, I get what's going on here. Like at this point, anyone's going to look at this, I think, and be like, oh, it's a mermaid, right? Even if they're not familiar with stitching or Mirabilia or whatever. It obviously looks like a mermaid. When I get to this point is, or somewhere near here, is often where I start feeling more like kind of being more methodical. And at the moment, I'm like, oh, I want to go back to the top and kind of basically work top down and approach it that way. So I think I'm going to put her back in the Q-snap, you know, with her head and her torso in the Q-snap and kind of attack her that way. I've really been feeling the mermaid vibes lately. I didn't used to be a mermaid person like at all. And now maybe it's dyeing all the mermaid fabric for my mermaid package that I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So Renaissance Mermaid, she's something happening. I have so much stuff. I have so many hobbies, and I don't want to say I have too many hobbies because I love my hobbies and I love the things I spend my time doing, and I love having a variety. It's just a lot. Also dragging today. So anyway, okay, so after the summer basically off, I picked back up my Princess and the Dragon. Sarah, Stitch and Mommy, if you're watching, like I said, I believe you finished your dragon ride, and it's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. If I don't watch, I don't know. Your dragon ride might be finished or not. If it's finished, I'm so jealous. And I'm so excited for you. And I can't wait to have this done. And I still have hope. I still have hope that this is going to be a 2024 finish, especially with how excited I've been in particular recently about some more like intricate and detailed stitching. I'm very happy with the progress I've made on this. So it's still so far from being done. All right, here it is. So so there was my like energy and mood and stuff has been a little like all over the map here recently. Anyway, last week I really wasn't getting any stitching done, and I was like determined to do some stitching, but I also was exhausted and really not feeling it. So I did something that I think for me worked really well and turned out to be really smart. I sat down and backstitched. I started putting the back stitching in right there. And that's all I got done that day, stitching wise. But I was proud of myself. And it felt really good. Backstitching's easy, and not only had I made progress, I'd made progress on a piece that I care so much about. So since you guys have seen it last, I put in some more stitches like down here. I did something with these colors down here by her dress and some like the purples that are over here. So I had like one yellow stitch that was missing out of that, and I did that. And then I also finished my strand of yellow. Where did I finish it? I want to say I finished it down here, but I'm not positive about that. I also had like two different or a few different stitches. No, it was more than that. I'm selling myself short. I had several stitches up here in the purple part that needed to be put in. I did that and then also carried those strands down. I think over here I like worked down this part some with those colors. I mean, at this point it's very confetti heavy, and this is a very slow stitching experience, which is fine because that's kind of the mood that I've been in, is for slower stitching. I also did a whole bunch of work here, extending, so I've done most of these like kind of spines of his wing, I guess. And there's still some more here, and so I filled a lot of that in, as well as down here and here. So I don't know if it looks like much to you guys, but it feels like a lot to me. This is on either white or antique white. They had like an antique white version, I think. It's on Monaco, either way. It's on a whitish Monaco. It's a Clay by Kim needle minder. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I might even find some time to stitch on it today. I kind of like always feel like I should be working. Excuse me. And I know I shouldn't always be working. Anyway, that's just me. I'll get over it. I'll figure it out. Or I won't, but I'll keep working on it. Okay, so you guys know that if you've been around here, Lisa from Cross by Floss and I get together many weeks to stitch. The last couple months has been hard to meet up, but I don't think I've shown you guys this in a while, and I feel like I forgot to show you last time. So we've both been working on Garden Beauty for Mirabilia. I'm not going to pull up a picture because I think you can see what she's supposed to look like. Of course, I have like strands of floss everywhere getting in the way. She's stunning. So most recently, I've kind of, well, again, I've gone back to the top and been trying to finish filling in like some of that greenery and stuff. I love Nora's designs that do this. I love Nora's designs that have background elements to them. I mean, I love them that don't too, but particularly the background elements. So I love all this greenery. She's so beautiful. I still have a lot of back stitching. I still have a lot of dress. I mean, as you go down, it's less well sketched in. But I am very happy with this. It's on an old Silk Weaver 28 count fabric. And by old, I mean like 20-year-old Silk Weaver. I love her. I think she's absolutely stunning. I couldn't be happier. I still need to finish filling in like her torso there. There's a lot of confetti. Oh, she's so beautiful. And I know exactly where she's going to hang when she's done. I have in my bedroom, I have a piece of artwork from Nora, like I bought from Nora. And on one side of it, I have Stargazer, and I'm going to put this on the other side of it. So Stargazer and her will kind of be like facing towards each other with the artwork in the middle. And the artwork is of two women, like their torsos up. And it's just, anyway, I'm very excited to get this done. Lisa and I have a date to stitch again next week, and hopefully we'll kind of get back in the groove. Just, you know, life is busy, right? We both got families and trips and retreats and all kinds of things. I feel like there was something else I was going to say about this, but I don't remember what it was. Okay. So there's that. And this is still on the Q-snap. That's, see, I'll like leave things on the Q-snap being like, oh, I'm going to get right back to that. And then, Lord knows. All right, Teresa Wensler. So this is Romeo and Juliet. I participate in Pam, Stitch in the Land of Good Enoughs. Fancy Ladies, Fancy Folk Zoom. It doesn't have to be a lady. I usually work on a Joan Elliott, her Sleeping Beauty during that. This past week, again, or past session, I just was like feeling the intricate stuff, like the stuff that's slower, that takes more time, that's more detailed. And so what's more detailed than a Teresa Wensler? Except maybe Chatelaine. So I pulled this out. I think I'd only stitched on it like once before. I still didn't get that much done. But, oh, it's not bad. That's where I am. So this is basically as wide as the piece is. These lines here that you see here will come down there. That'll be like the outside line coming down right there. So that's as wide as it is. This is blue Monaco. And I'm thinking this might have come with a pattern, with the kit. This is from a kit. This might have come with the kit. So yeah, I've kind of got the top border, starting to get it sketched out. This line here is the railing, and I'm starting to do some of that light from behind, and I started doing some of the greenery. This is stunning, right? And I just enjoyed working on it so much that I was like, I'm keeping the Q-snap for now. So we'll see where that goes. Because sometimes I need a break from Princess and the Dragon too. Because I'm definitely at the point of Princess and the Dragon where most of what I have left is like very confetti, very like searching to find stitches in a given color. Whereas this one's still in that phase where it's, you know, easy peasy. It's just, you know, there's still, let's say block stitching. You don't get block stitching in Teresa Wensler's, but you still have a lot of, a lot of stitching that's like, the path is easy to follow. So I don't remember if I showed you guys this, but it's on my mind. Because sometimes when I'm in these like super intricate stitching moods, I offset that with some very simple stuff. And don't get mad at me for how messy this pattern is. So this is Soda Stitch. I love this piece. It's just so cheerful and bright. And I started this, I don't know, maybe last spring, or I know I went to the store and got the floss with my kids. I barely have anything started. There's just a bit of the bird. But, and this is on some like Charles craft store linen. Which is very thin and delicate, but sometimes I think that suits the piece. I was like organizing my stuff the other day, and I was like, that needs to come out. I need to like do some more on that. It's got such cheerful and pretty colors. Anyway, this might even come to the retreat with me in October. We'll see. It just occurred to me, something I should show you guys. I'll have to get to that in a minute. Anyway, so that's on my radar. I don't know if I've worked on it since I showed it to you last, but it's on my radar. Also going through my stuff. So I have this pattern from Nora Corbett. It's, let me look at the pattern and see what it's called. Garden Party Cakes. And I was kind of cleaning up and going through stuff. This is my Queen fabric. At the moment, it's exclusive to people going to the retreat, to the Queen City Stitch Retreat. They were able to pre-order it for delivery at the retreat. This is a 28 count Lugana. This is like the cutoff. So it's what I stitched my model on of the retreat piece that Autumn Lane Stitchery designed for us. This is like the excess, and I think that I might use it. Now it's going to have a lot thinner margins than I'm used to. but I think I can, I mean, I'm going to have like an inch all the way around, which is, I think, more than enough for framing. And I know how to sew. I can sew, you know, more fabric on, like around, to give us something for purchase to like do the framing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I think that'll look fantastic. And the flosses, there's not that many colors, but they're, and these are the floss colors, right? Bright orange, purple, pink, white. I think it'll look good on there. So anyway, that's kind of on my radar. There'd be a little bit more like simpler stitching. This is gonna be like my shortest floss tube ever. I feel like I say that a lot, and then, you know, 2 hours later. I've also been doing a little bit of embroidery lately, so I thought I'd show you guys this. So this is a kit, and I heard about this somewhere online. I don't remember where. From the Raspberry Rabbits. It's to make this little heart like cushion, and it's got a pocket in the back. I'll show the instructions. This is my little embroidery bag. I got it on Etsy. It's from, I want to say it's made by Rachel. I'll try to remember to, oh wow. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my phone. I'll try to remember to link this shop as well. This is very well made. This is a Tilda fabric. I love it. Anyway, I'd like to get this done. It's been lingering for a while. I did, so in the pattern, you're supposed to like fill in the heart. I decided to put our last initial instead. It's pretty fast going. I just don't sit down to actually work on it very often. This came pre-printed and pre-fused. There's like, you know, interfacing on it. Anyway, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I was on a Zoom the other night with one of my friends, and I just didn't really feel up to following a pattern and just worked on this instead and really enjoyed it. So hopefully that's going to be done soon. Okay, what's next? All right, so some of this is up here, so it's hard to... This bag is my mini chatelaine bag. This bag is from Kathy's Posies on Etsy. I will try to remember to link her as well. I mention her a lot. I love her bags. I have 2 of the chatelaine workshops that I have for me. The rice stitch is the one I'm teaching or doing the workshop on at the chatelaine retreat next summer. Words. I also have, eyelets. Eyelets is just beautiful, and I want to stitch it. Although Alma, Tattoo Reading Owl, she stitched the Rhodes one for us, and it's beautiful. It seems to be the least popular, at least amongst the people who signed up for our retreat, but it's beautiful. So I have eyelets, and I have the eyelets workshop and the rice stitch workshop in here. I'm going to show you rice stitch in a second, because that's kind of my priority. And then I also have Katie Tonight. She designed a chatelaine style like beading workshop piece for us for the retreat, and it's in here as well. And I've been working on that, but I can't show it to you. But I can show you my my rice stitch. It's so beautiful. And now I'm starting to, I can't remember what color fabric this is. It's my fabric. It's a new one that's not even in the shop yet, I don't believe, because I still need to photograph it. It's a very, I think I called it blush, a very, very light pink. And I'm stitching on opalescent. It's got a little bit of yellow in it, but it's mostly a light pink. But the eyelets workshop is all like tealy blues and purples and like aquas. It's so beautiful. I'm having a blast. And the rice stitches turned out to be very instinctual for me. Like, what, like I did a couple of them and I was like, oh, like that's easy. Now there's lots of variations I haven't put in yet. But anyway, I'm very, very excited. I'm loving this piece, and I'm finding that it's a piece that's scratching that itch of wanting to work on things that are more intricate, but I can also do it while making dinner. Like, it's simple and repetitive enough, probably just small enough, that I can kind of hop up and down while I'm doing it. I can be interrupted by my kids or be doing other things too, or while working, there's a lot of up and down. There's a lot of, sorry, nose itch. I might sneeze. Okay, it's gone for now. There's a lot of like up and down to do things with dye and chemical baths and whatnot. So this is just, it's relatively easy to get up and down and do. I still really want to finish my Egypt mandala garden, but it physically and literally is hard to get up and down when I'm working on it, because it like covers my whole lap. I'm going to need to take care of my dog here in a few minutes. Freya, lay down. Lay down. It's not that time yet. Okay. Anyway, so I've been working on this as well. And the piece that Katie designed that's in here that I can't show you. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about some shop related items and news. No. You can wait. You do not set the schedule around here. I set the schedule around here, and I say you can wait. Okay, shop update stuff. So I have on my list of future items to film a video all about and specific to my floss that I dyed. I'm going to give you a brief intro here, but I'll like I said, there will be a video coming with more of like a tutorial on how to use it. So let me explain a little bit about my shop. My philosophy around oak crown and why I do things the way I do them. Part of how I decide what to put in my shop is that I don't necessarily see the sense in doing things that everyone else already does. I think my shop offers some things that you don't necessarily get everywhere else. So for my cross stitch fabric, well, I mean, my quilt fabric, I don't know anybody else who hand dyes quilt fabric. So there's that. I actually, later this week, I'm going to be putting yarn in my shop. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm going to have a whole video explaining the yarn that I'm adding to the shop. But from the cross stitch fabric perspective, there are plenty of really great hand dyers out there. The things that I think make me not necessarily well, maybe different, but definitely unusual is my color choices. I think there's a lot more shops out there that kind of focus on sampler colors, right? And like 15 different shades of beige. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the crowd. Freya, no, it's not that time. Lay down. You're being a bit of a butt right now. You can wait. She wants her LUNCH, but it's not time. She's been getting like ornery in her old age. She's not that old. She's like middle-aged, so I can kind of relate. Anyway, I'm going to try to ignore her. Definitely not giving her what she wants because she's being a butt. No. Lay down. Lay down. Stay laying down. Okay. Where was I? Oh, color choice. My shop, I hope, and what I want it to be is the colors that I would want, the fabrics I would want to stitch on. So I try to offer a really wide range because my tastes are eclectic. I like everything from very dark to very bright to very subtle. Freya. Sometimes neutral, but my neutrals tend to be a bit more colorful than like a sampler stitcher's neutrals. Although I actually have some lighter colors and some neutrals coming that I'm pretty excited about because they're like my kind of neutrals. Anyway, and then the other thing is, I keep being told that people trust that I do things right, which I'm glad about because I do think I do things right. With my background in dyeing and in chemistry, I think the fabric I put out is very high quality. I'm using good quality dyes. I'm doing it the way it's supposed to be done to set the dye. I can never guarantee that there's not going to be any loose dye or that your fabric's not going to bleed at all. But I have taken the steps to set the dye. I mean, nobody can guarantee their fabric's not gonna, never gonna bleed. But I'm doing everything I can to set the dye. The dye will always be set, and to rinse out the excess dye. I'm doing a good job. I'm being conscientious about that. Whereas a lot of dyers are very open about the fact that they just don't set their dye. Period. My dog is being such a butt right now. She's like pulling on the cord for my ring light. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of spiel about my fabric. I hope what you get from if you shop at my store, which by all means, I don't ever want anyone who comes to my Flosstube to feel like they need to shop at my store. You shop where and when you want to shop. To me, they're kind of like separate entities, right? There's my shop and then there's my Flosstube with my friends. Obviously, there's some connection, but I don't want anyone to ever feel like they need to patronize my store. Anyway, so that's what I hope you get from my fabric, right? It's high quality, done right, and it's one of relatively few dyers who have a more vibrant kind of color palette and a wide variety of options. Let me also throw in there, I particularly love, and I get this comment a lot from people, the fabrics I love stitching on usually have multiple colors in them. There's a mix of different colors. It's not monochromatic. So that's kind of another thing. Anyway, so I've now I've been working on this floss for months, almost as long as my shop's been open. It's just taken a lot of physical manual labor to get things ready. I have made the link live to my floss. So right now I'm starting with 40 colors. I tried to do a wide variety to represent everything that you might need. So this floss is doing floss. When I thought about doing floss, right, I could offer hand-dyed cotton floss. I could offer hand-dyed silk floss. There are a lot of dyers that do hand-dyed cotton and do hand-dyed silk and do it very well. Something that I literally personally have been looking for and unable to find satisfactorily has been a wool floss. I love fiber, I love wool, and I love stitching with it. And there are companies that do wool flosses, but most of the wool flosses that they do that are out there, all of them that I'm aware of, except for one that's relatively hard to find and very limited palette, are actually a wool acrylic blend. I don't want a wool acrylic blend. I don't like working with synthetics. I minimize it as much as I can. There are exceptions to everything, but for a few years, have really been wanting a purely natural fiber wool floss. I love stitching with it. I love the feel of it in my hands. I am a knitter. It's so squishy. So what this is. So anyway, that's kind of how I decided that yes, I'm going to jump in and dye floss, but I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it dyeing a wool floss, which is something that you can't get anywhere else. So this wool floss is, it's sold both as a knitting yarn and as an embroidery thread. So I'm obviously dyeing it and putting in skeins here meant to be used as an embroidery thread. It is, it's not divisible. So that's the most important thing you need to know. It's a two ply thread or yarn. Do not divide it. It's meant to be used as single. Now, one of the reasons I wanted this is because I love stitching with one strand. I love using the sewing method with one strand. But I also love working on like 28 and 32 count. One strand of DMC or silk or even sulky on 28 or 32 count doesn't get you a lot of coverage, but I know a lot of people really love having much better coverage. I know a lot of people love those wool acrylic blends that come in some of the Riolis kits. I don't love those, but part of that is because I can feel the squeaky acrylic in my hand and it drives me nuts. I hate that. I could just pet this all day. It's so nice. Okay, words. Where was I going with this? Okay, so this is significantly thicker. So this provides amazing coverage on 28 and 32 count with one strand. Now, another thing about stitching with this, it will, okay, this is one of my favorite colors. Oh, so good. Algae, look at that. Oh, look at the variegation in it. Oh, and I try to do mostly like semi-solid colors because that's mostly what I love working with, are colors that have like just slight variation in them. Anyway, so here's algae. One of the things about working with this is that your tension can, because it's wool and so it's plump and it's all been washed because it's been dyed, so it's really plumped up. You can really affect the thickness of your stitch and the coverage of your stitch by how hard you pull. If you don't pull very hard at all, these strands are very plump and provide a lot more coverage. If you pull a little bit harder, like I'm not yanking, I'm just pulling a bit, it thins out. So probably if I'm stitching on a 32 or even a 36 count, I might pull a little bit tighter. If I'm on 28 count, I might keep a little bit looser and let it stay very plump. So this, oh, look at this. I love color. Can you tell? So this is fur. Oh, where's some of my other favorites? The purples turned out amazing. Heather. Ooh. Man, I love this. Okay, this is definitely, so like I said, I'll do a whole video on this, but these are finally live on the website. If you want to buy a whole set, just send me a message and I can like invoice you for a full set if you want, or you can go through and put them all in your cart. I should put a listing up for the whole set, but anyway, doesn't matter. So one of the points I was trying to make about this though, this is definitely different. This is different than what other flosses are like. It's a bit of a different experience. You're going to need a slightly bigger eye needle, potentially, depending on what you normally stitch with. It's a more rustic look, which I like in part because this is kind of the perfect color palette to do like some samplers and things with. Oh, this is also 8 yards. Each skein is 8 yards. A lot of work went into producing these. You certainly can. I actually have plans. I'm thinking I might stitch some Noras with this. Some of the Nora Corbetts that have like a much more limited color palette, especially some of the mermaids, I think could end up being amazing in this and a much faster stitch if I'm using the sewing method. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place, my brain. Okay, blueberry. Blueberry is another favorite. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. Okay. Anyway, if you want to give these a try, just be aware. I don't want to feel like I don't want anybody to feel like I've done like a bait and switch with these. If you order these or order one of them to try out or whatever, this is not for everybody. I don't want you to pick up these flosses thinking it's going to be just like stitching with cotton or it's just like stitching with silk. It's not. It's a different experience. They're a little bit fuzzier. They're a little bit grabbier on the fabric. You use a little bit shorter length if you're like me and you usually use like an enormous length. But also really fun and just squishy. And really enjoy, like, I find them very enjoyable and very wonderful to stitch with. But like I said, I enjoy wool flosses. Some people hate wool flosses. So, anyway, I'm very proud of this and I'm very excited. I'm excited to add new colors, you know, to the shop. I've got some other things I'm working on, some more highly variegated colors. That's just fun. Okay, so that's a thing that I've added to the shop. And I wanted to just briefly talk about, so the yarn. Okay, so I've also filmed a video all about fiber crafts, and that's going to go up after this video goes up, if all goes as planned. People have been asking me for quite some time now to dye yarn as well, especially as I was dyeing the flosses. I got a lot of requests to just buy hanks of yarn, right, to knit with, because I know our cross-stitch community is very diverse, and a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us also engage in other crafts. Quilting, knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, all kinds of things. So here's what I've decided, and I'm just giving you the short parts version now. If you want to learn more, check out the video I'm going to put up here in a day or two about the yarn. I've decided to start by offering what I'm going to call farm 4-ply and a farm DK. Calling them farm because the bases I'm using are farm traceable. So I know which, they're all from the UK. I know which farms these wools came from. As I've kind of alluded to or touched on a bit, I have a real passion for natural fibers, for all things sheep. They're so fun. For all things sheepy. And again, if I'm going to do something, I got to do my version of it, right? Not just the thing you can already buy 100 other places. So most hand dyers of yarn use primarily, if not entirely, superwash bases, including in the US. One thing I'm always looking for, just like with stitching, I was wanting wool floss for a long time and not able to find what I wanted. One thing I want in the knitting world and have a very hard time finding, and when I do find it, I usually have to order it from Europe, I usually have to order it from Europe, which is fine. I love ordering fun new things, but regardless, I like stitching on hand-dyed yarns that aren't on superwash bases. I do sometimes use superwash. I'm not like entirely anti-superwash. And again, those are just my choices for what I use, not judging anybody else for what you may choose to work with. But my choices are to typically not use superwash. If I have a choice between superwash and non-superwash, I'm always going to go for the non-superwash. So finding yarns that aren't superwash has always been tricky. So I decided, well, if I'm going to hand dye yarns, that's what I want to be doing. I want to be providing high quality, natural fiber yarns that are not superwash. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm starting with these two bases. These are obviously undyed. Again, the farm fingering and the farm DK. I'm going to put these up in my shop later this week. I'm already very busy. So in order to keep this manageable, the way I'm starting the yarn dyeing segment of Oak Crown Studios is by offering a monthly mystery club, just like I do with my cross stitch fabric. You sign up for however many skeins of whichever one you want, you get a mystery once a month. You pay for it a month in advance. So like if you order it in September, you'll get it in October. If you get charged in October, you get it in November. I'm hoping and expecting that this segment of my shop will grow with time, but for right now, to keep it small and manageable, but also hopefully to give those of you who've been asking for it something to buy. I'm going to start with a mystery club with these two bases. And you can order as many as you want. Obviously, if you do the farm fingering, I mean, that's kind of, well, it depends on what you knit, right? I've been finding as I get older, I knit a lot of fingering weight stuff. And I can always use a skein of fingering yarn. I can make socks, I can make a hat, I can make mitts. But DK, I can always make the same things with a skein of DK, quite frankly. I also, my socks, I don't like a long leg on my socks. I basically do like cuff, maybe an inch of leg, and then I start like for the heel and all of that. So I'm not the biggest sock knitter, so I feel like I'm missing I'm missing some terminology there. But you get my point, right? Like a lot of people do socks that have a really long leg. I'm not like that. So skein of DK, I can often get socks out too. Anyway, so yeah, so that's going to be my shop. If you want more information about this, feel free to ask. But also, like I said, within a day or two, I'm going to have a video up on my website talking a lot more about yarn and all my fibery goodness. Basically filmed like a Flosstube, but for yarn and fiber kind of related crafts. And, you know, where I show like what I've been working on and that kind of stuff. I also show a bunch of examples of my dyeing. So, if you kind of want to get a sense of like, wait a minute, like what am I going to get? You'll get, you know, it's always going to be a mystery, but you can get kind of a sense of the sorts of dyeing techniques I use and what sort of look my yarns typically have. Because I've been dyeing yarn for myself longer than anything else. And I think more than like 15 years I've been dyeing my own yarn. So anyway, check out that video that I'll post here in a day or two if you're interested. Okay. Oh, I was going to show you one more thing. I almost forgot. What is that? Okay. Have I showed you guys this? This is my Dark Queen of the Sea. This needs to come to the retreat with me. I mean, that's obvious, right? Did I show you guys this? I don't remember. This is where my Dark Queen of the Sea is. She really needs a lot more work. I'll bring her with me. I'm starting to think about packing for the retreat. Okay, so anyway, Dark Queen of the Sea. I meant to show you guys that earlier. If you guys have any questions, I feel like I've been all over the place today. I gotta go take care of my dog and my daughter. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out with me today. And thank you for the last year of helping me make Oak Crown Studios a reality and following me on my adventures. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too. I hope you enjoy your crafting life, whatever form that may be taking at the moment, and I'll talk to you guys soon.